Yeah, it's Big C. Fin Posse Podcast in the building. If you hating on the Fins, turn this up louder. I grew up on Shula. Chalk lines, cold rain, Marino in the pocket, dropping dimes, pure flame. 7-2 perfect, you can't say a thing back. Undefeated on your head, living rent-free fact. Jason Taylor off the edge, helmets turning skyward. That thumping chest, every hit like a siren. You talking about rings, get your history straight. We the reason that the word perfect holds weight. It's that Fin Posse. Rage, turn the volume up. Hey, slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the orange boat ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, rage, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get that story right. Yeah, Larry C. Sunker in the mud, blood on his mouthpiece. Ricky in the backfield, making whole crowd screech. Wake off the snap count, quarterbacks daydreaming. By the time they look up, all they see is teal streaming. You forgot about Grease, you forgot about Twilly, you forgot Nat Moore. Going up, getting silly from Marino to a lineage, same jersey. We've been airing that thing out since before you that 30. Posse, rage, turn the volume up. Y'all slick from Miami, you get called out tough. From the orange boat ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, rage, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get that story right. This for the diehards, slamming doors on the loss. This for the old heads still quoting Shula talk. This for the kids wearing jerseys in June, waiting all year just to scream in the room. It's that Fin Posse rage, turn the volume up. Slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the orange boat ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse rage, put respect on the name. Big C in the crew, let them drown in the shame. It's the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. Fin Posse Podcast, get the Dolphin story right. Woo! Get the Dolphin story right. Woo! Get the Dolphin story right. Yeah. Check it. From the 305 to the world. Big C on the mic. Welcome to the inner circle. You know what it is. Yeah. Clock hits noon, ready for the breakdown. Big C stepping up, holding down the town. The Fin Posse Podcast, yeah, we talking shop. Fresh off the field, never gonna stop. For the fans, by the fans, that's the code. Every single snap, every yard on the road. We dissect the stats, every gain, every loss. Breaking down the tape, checking every cross. Fins up, hold it high to the sky. Hard hitting talk, no need for a lie. From the trenches to the end zone, we keep it true. The Fin Posse, yeah, we waiting for you. Fins up, let the rivals all see. It's the daily grind, it's the podcast, it's Big C. Yeah. Keep it locked, Fins up. Big C. Posse move.
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How's everybody doing this lovely Tuesday morning? Good morning. Another day of training camp, another day closer to real Dolphins football. I can't wait. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins will be playing their first preseason game against the Washington Commanders. We should get a real feel for where this Dolphins team is at. We're going to talk about day 10 of training camp. We're going to talk about the top performers so far of training camp. And we're going to talk about this team in general. Again, you know, there's the people out there that want to be super positive, and that's cool. You know, that's as long as you're being realistic, as long as you're not being delusional. And I have no issue with, you know, the fans being optimistic about their team. They want to feel good about their football team. They want to feel good about going into the 2026 season. But you just as long as you understand what we're working with, what we're working with, basically, you know what I mean? You can't you can't expect everything to go the Dolphins' way. That's not real life. Obviously, we've been Dolphin fans long enough that we know that things don't typically go the way that we want them. But again, I don't mind people being optimistic as long as you're realistic. You know what I mean? So be realistic, be optimistic, and just understand where this team is and where we're going. It's not about where we are currently. It's not about where we currently are. It's about where we're going. And once people come to terms with that, I think they'll be happier. I truly think people will be happier once they understand that where we're at currently is not where we're going. Because I take a look down the line a little bit, and I see great things for this Miami Dolphins team. Obviously, I don't think the puzzle's complete. I think we're still missing some key pieces, but I have confidence that we'll be able to get those pieces sooner rather than later, and we should be able to build something positive. And if we don't, it's back to the chalkboard. It's back to the going out and finding the people that will do the job. We've been through a lot of different regimes here as Miami Dolphin fans. We've seen a lot of different head coaches, not so many different general managers, but a lot of different head coaches. And I believe that if these guys aren't the guys, they will go out and find the people that will be the guys. So just be positive, but be realistic. Be realistic. Let's say good morning to the chat real quick before we get into day 10 of training camp. Day 10, another day of training camp. Iron sharpening iron, as some people like to say. But again, we'll get into that in a second. Why I have an issue with that statement. We'll get into it in a second. Miller, good morning. Ken Sean, good morning. Dee, good morning. Big Lou, what's up? Jocelyn, good morning. Bonnie, good morning. Marcos, good morning. Marcos, don't worry about people saying you haven't. Wait, I appreciate you, Marcos. You've been in my chat for a long time. Don't let people get you up in arms about the things they say. And I appreciate you having my back for real. It means a lot. Michael K, good morning. Adolman, good morning. Then we got a lot of messages I gotta go back and read real quick. All right, let's go. Let me read through some of these. Miller says, "Let's effing go. I don't want to hear, but it was the Commanders when we dominate practice tomorrow." Again, I don't know what makes you think that we're going to dominate practice. Again, if you want to be optimistic, that's cool. And optimism, in my opinion, is going in and being like, I hope that we hold our own against the Commanders. The Commanders kind of got a established quarterback. I mean, he's still young, but I think the Commanders are in a much better position than we are. So if we can go in and hold our own against the Commanders, I feel like that's a win. Now, you want to say dominate the Commanders? What's the chances that we go in and dominate the Commanders? What's the chances of that? I think we have a chance to go in and compete, and I think that's all you can ask for at this current moment. Kenshaw says, "What's good? Everyone fins up." Definitely fins up. Dee says, "Good morning." Razul versus Caleb Douglas tomorrow. Maybe we will finally see what we got in this dude. I mean, we'll see. Big Lou says, "What's going on?" Good morning, chat. Hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Help support the channel. Again, super chats are appreciated. I don't do like a lot of the other channels do. I don't force people to super chat me to read their comments and interact with them. So don't punish me because of that. Look out for the kid once in a while. Help the channel grow. I appreciate it. Michael K says, "Only way the Dolphins dominate a joint practice is if they grant a local high school team a make-a-wish." Yo, that Michael K, that was a good one. That was kind of good. I gotta give you credit for that. That was a decent one. Usually Michael K just be saying some nonsense, but I like that. That was good. Michael K says, don't care about the stadium. I didn't want a new one to begin with. What lawsuit? Listen, I was gonna go up and view the stadium. They do private tours up there where you go in the locker room and go on the field and stuff. And they're pretty affordable. And my son acted like he wanted to go, and then he kind of like when I said something to him, he kind of blew it off. So I was like, oh, whatever. Maybe I'll still go. Let's see. Ginchel says, I think it's two players who will benefit from day 1 through 10 practices, Jason Marshall and Chop. I think you found what your Xavier Howard replacement, and Chop will be better than Cam Wake we need. Well, Cam Wake was one of the Dolphins' all-time greats. Man, I think Chop Robinson's a completely different player than Cam. Cam Wake was more of a power player, right? And Chop relies more on speed. If he could be Cam Wake, man, that'd be absolutely phenomenal for the Dolphins. He has been having a very good camp. I'm trying to hold back expectations of Chop though, because I've had these feelings about Chop, and I thought Chop was going to go off before, and he didn't live up to what I thought he was going to be. So I'm being reluctant to put all my eggs in that basket, but I am super excited about camp so far for Chop. He has looked like a completely different player. He did put 7 to 10 pounds of muscle on in the offseason. Obviously, that has made a difference for him, and I like that they're holding Chop accountable at practice. If he has a bad set or a bad session, they make him redo it. They're holding Chop accountable. They're not allowing mediocre play to be a thing here for Miami, and that's one of the things I like about Jeff Hafley the most. They're not allowing mediocrity to be a thing. They're forcing you to work, and you're gonna work. And I'm in love with that aspect of Jeff Hafley's coaching style. Dolman says, good day, everyone. Why so little feedback on Kyle Lewis? Secret weapon? I just think they're trying to figure out the best way to use Kyle Lewis, Dolman. Honestly, I don't know if they think that they're going to use him as safety, at linebacker, where they're going to use him. I think they're trying to figure it out. Obviously, the linebacker room's kind of stacked, so you'd like to use him as safety, but is that Kyle Lewis's best position? Is that what's best for Kyle Lewis? So I think they're just trying to figure it out. Miller says, anyone see them new Buffalo Bills uniforms? They look like a Diet Pepsi can. Yeah, that was crazy when you sent me that picture, Miller. Oh, We are working with a rookie coach and a roster. This might be the worst roster I've seen in the NFL with my two eyes. Jocelyn, is it a roster that I feel like is going to have a bunch of success? No. Is it the worst roster I've ever seen? I can't go that far. I think it's more inexperienced more so than it's bad, if that makes sense. I think it's just that the team doesn't have the veterans. It's got a bunch of young guys that are unproven. Yeah, you got the minimum contract guys, and I agree, those guys are not great. But I think the team mostly is made up of young, unexperienced guys. We had 13 draft picks this year. You add on the draft picks from last year and then go even another year back, the third year guys. That's a bunch of young guys. Then you add on like Malik Willis. You add on Devon Achane, Jordan Brewer, our Jordan Brooks, Aaron Brewer, Dotson, you add in the veterans, your 53, I don't think is going to be too bad as far as talent's concerned. I just think there's just a lack of experience. So I don't think the roster is that bad. I just think the roster is super inexperienced, super young, super unproven, more so than it's bad, Jocelyn. But that's my opinion. Iowa Finn fan, what up? Iowa Finn fan, I feel you. I'm from New York. I'm a Dolphin fan. So, us Finn fans all over the globe. It doesn't matter where you're from. You don't got to be from South Beach or, Florida to be a Dolphin fan. So I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for stopping in. Jocelyn says we must be happy that our first game is against the Raiders, because if that wasn't the case, we might be looking at a winless season. I don't think we're going to go winless, Jocelyn. I think we get a couple wins. I would say 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that range. But if you're expecting more than that from this Dolphins team, it's just tough. The NFL's a tough place to win football games. It's tough. It's hard to win in the NFL. And that's when teams are on the even playing field. The Miami Dolphins started $180 million in the hole. $180 million in the hole. And a lot of people try to dismiss that fact. But you can't. You can't. That $180 million could be spent on players for this football team. Instead, it's spent on players for other people's football teams. We're paying other people's top stars. You can't ignore that fact. You can't do it. And again, it's hard enough to win in this league when you guys are on the even keel. Miller with the super chat. Appreciate it. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Michael K says, I think the Raiders have a good chance of beating the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are probably better than the Raiders, but Miami is on the road. Who's going to be the quarterback? Is it going to be Kirk Cousins? Is it going to be Mendoza? I think that we win that football game, honestly. And it might be the worst thing possible for this fan base, because I think winning that first game is really going to boost a lot of people's confidence. The people that have the false sense of hopium in this community, if we go out and we win a football game, our first game, I just think it's going to boost that, whatever's triggering their thought process. I think it's just going to be an explosion, and I think it's going to be horrible for our fan base. Absolutely horrible. Ken Shaw says these fans are a little fired up, is all Big C. Fired up. Listen, be fired up for our future, but to sit here and explode and say just the constant, if you're into going and getting fed a bunch of BS constantly, by all means, do what you do. But to me, I don't like that as a fan. Don't feed me nonsense. Don't treat me like I'm not intelligent. Don't act like I don't know football myself. I have my favorite podcasters also. I have my favorite places that I like to get my information, because I'm a fan first and foremost. That's what I am. I mean, more than anything, I'm a fan. I have a little YouTube channel, blah, blah. Who cares? I'm a Dolphin fan. And I don't like to get smoke blown up my ass. You know what I mean? And I don't like to be fed shit that's not true. I tune in the Dolphin content to get real life opinions, not someone playing games with my emotions. And I feel like a lot of these content creators are playing games with people's emotions. Now, what if I wasn't a Dolphins fan, as big of a Dolphin fan? What if I was just a casual fan? What if I was just a casual fan trying to look in on my team and see what's going on? Let's say I didn't really know the players all that well, but I like to watch the games on Sunday. And you're feeding me this narrative that my football team has a real shot at making the playoffs. And then when the season comes, I go and I spend my $400 to watch my Dolphin football, and the Dolphins win 3 games. I would be pissed off. I'd be pissed off. So I don't believe in feeding this fake narrative. Oh, we're being positive. We're being positive. No, it's not being positive. These people pushing, these guys know enough about football to know that this roster is not built to win. It's not built to win this year. It's not. This roster is built to progress our young, talented players, building it from the floor up, building our own players in-house. But this year just ain't, there's not enough tools. You don't got enough ingredients to bake a cake. You don't got enough ingredients. You're missing some major ingredients to that cake. And maybe you got the main ingredient. Maybe we got him. Maybe Malik Willis is the answer at quarterback. Maybe we got that main ingredient. But still, you still can't make a good cake if you don't got the smaller things. If you're making a 4-course meal, maybe we got that steak. Maybe we got that filet mignon. Maybe. But you still need some taters on the side. You still need a vegetable. You still need some kind of bread, a side salad. You still need those things. The meal's not complete. The meal's not complete without those things. Jocelyn gives 10 jewels. I still don't know what 10 jewels are about, but yeah, hit that like button. I appreciate it. At the NFL level, this won't cut it. Even a preseason will expose that. I expect many Dolphins come back to reality very soon. Listen, and I don't want people to have to, I don't want that. I want people just to understand that this is a rebuild. We're doing things seemingly the right way. It seems like we're doing things the right way. Just don't jump out the window. I don't know why people think that when we go and we spend $1 billion on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey, and we got a bunch of other talented players on this football team and we couldn't win a playoff game, that because we got rid of Tua and added Malik Willis, that automatically makes us a better football team. No, you got to realize what else we lost. We lost a ton. We lost a ton of people. True Fin fan, I saw the Cowboys trade old players, fire a legend, and go 1-15. Not saying we're them, but let this team grow. Youth and no money will dictate the season and the next. And True Fin fan, I think it dictates this season. Next year, I think we're going to have an opportunity, because if these players can grow enough and Malik Willis is the answer at quarterback, I think we will have a shot next year. I think we'll have a shot next year to make the playoffs. I truly believe that. Listen, players take less time to develop this day and age than ever before. So they had their big draft this year. They had a 13-player draft. They went and drafted their type of players. You give them another year of drafting their type of guys, added in with maybe a couple free agent signings, and then the talent that we already had here, the Aaron Brewers, the Jordan Brookses, the Patrick Pauls, the Devon Achans. I think that will be enough to make us competitive next year. Super competitive. I'll feel way better about next year than this year. Jeff Hafley will have a year of his defense. People forget and take it for granted that we have a new offensive scheme. We have a new defensive scheme. Jeff Hafley's a new head coach. Never been a head coach at the pro level before. You can't dismiss that. Miller says, I expect many Dolphin fans to come out the woodwork when we deliver. Deliver what? You have false hope, Miller. And I feel horrible for you. But again, your initial reaction was the right reaction. I don't know what made you have this love affair with Caleb Douglas, but you hated the pick when it initially happened. You hated it. And now you love it more than anything. Glenn says, you have to stop blaming Greer. Hafley, Sullivan caused that $180 million dead cap. When Greer left, all those players were on the team. How do you not blame Chris Greer? That's not Jeff Hafley or John Eric Sullivan's fault. That's not, you couldn't pay those salaries, Glenn. How is that not Jeff Hafley or Chris Greer's fault? That's a crazy statement. Glenn, that's a crazy statement. That's their fault. They didn't sign those players. They didn't sign Tua Tagovailoa to that insane contract. They didn't do that. What was you going to pay Tyreek $54 million to sit on the bench after he blew out his leg? They didn't do that. I can't believe you made that statement. I can't believe you made that statement right there, Glenn. Jocelyn says, we really do low-key have the best fan base because nobody should be excited about this. Feel someone dropped a nuke on my team. Well, they kind of did, Jocelyn. That's what they did. They blew this team up from top to bottom. They blew it up. And yeah, there were some survivors. There was Devon Achane, Jordan Brooks, Aaron Brewer. There was some survivors. But for the most part, from the very, very top, we replaced our CEO. General manager, head coaches, quarterbacks, star players. We replaced them all. Lombardo, good morning. Now you go into the locker room and tell those 7 players that they only win 3 games. You're not doing that. You're not telling them that you're winning 7 games. You want them to fight. But again, if the recent trade that the Miami Dolphins just made isn't an indicator of what Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan think of this football team, then what is? We have an issue at tackle, right? The Miami Dolphins have a serious issue at tackle. Austin Jackson already hurt again. Charlie Heck has not been the answer, been getting dominated by Chop Robinson. Absolutely dominated. So what's their answer to that? What is the Miami Dolphins' answer to that? To go and trade a 6th-round pick to the Patriots for Caden Wallace. Who's an absolute bum that the Patriots were just going to release. Yeah, he's a former 3rd-round pick in 2024. But the guy has 0 chance of remaining here. He has a very small chance of making this football team. He's not a good football player, but this is what you do. You should be trying to add pieces that can help you. But no, they're just adding guys that can fill in because they know they're not gonna spend a a ton of money to maybe win one more game. They're not going to go and sign the players that could truly help this team win football games because they know the situation they're in. If this team was truly about winning football games, they would go out and sign Keenan Allen. They would go give Malik Willis a sure-handed wide receiver. I can understand staying away from Diggs. That's not the type of player you want to bring into your locker room. But Keenan Allen's never had issues. Keenan Allen's been a pretty good soldier throughout his NFL career. He's a sure-handed wide receiver. He runs precise routes. He's the perfect weapon for Malik Willis. Yet we're not going to make an attempt to sign that type of player, right? Why? Because he helps us, but he doesn't help us and propel us to the playoffs. He's not a needle mover where it's going to make a huge difference. So no, they're not going to make anybody waiting for a splashy signing or anything like that. It's not going to come. Because deep down, Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan know that this year's a rebuild year. They know. And it's okay. At least give them 1 year. Shoot, when you're rebuilding, at least give the guys 1 year before you start having these lofty expectations. In 2019, I was told Miami would only win one game. Glenn, they won 5. Okay. They won 5. Like, you act like they went to the playoffs. This team should realistically win 1-2 games. But I wouldn't be surprised if they won 5 or 6. I don't see where it's very much. I don't see the difference. You act like they went to the playoffs. Dolman says offensive liner Sawyer is out with an eye injury. Is this the same eye he had issues with the Chargers? Is this another Jackson? I mean, I don't know if he's injury prone like Austin Jackson is, but Sawyer, in my opinion, is not a great player anyway. He was terrible with the Chargers last year. He was ranked under Larry Borum last year. I don't know why we didn't bring Larry Borum back. Bonnie with the 100 jewels. Again, if you guys know what these jewels are, let me know. Jocelyn says, and what makes no sense, too, is retaining Sealer. Nobody would pay him what we paid him. Yeah, I was that again. That was the last regime, so I'm not surprised that they gave Zach Sealer money. But I question when we gave. Not that I don't like Zach Sealer. Not that I don't like Zach Sealer, but when they gave him that money, I think we all knew what was happening with this team, and I thought it was a bad decision. But at that point, Chris Greer, the writing was on the wall. They end up giving him the contract. He's a veteran presence. But to me, I'm trying to see what we got in Jordan Phillips, Kenneth Grant, Zeke Biggers. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't have signed that contract for Zach Sealer. I'd have probably tried to trade him and get some value for him. But, I mean, I love Zach Sealer. You know what I mean? I think he's a great player. I just don't think it was smart of us to give him the contract we did. Jocelyn said, you let go of all these Pro Bowlers, such as Minka and Chubb, and decide to keep Sealer. Shake my head. Give me Chubb instead. I mean, I don't think Bradley Chubb's a Pro Bowl player at this point in his career. I think Bradley Chubb, Listen, to be honest, both of them probably needed to go, right? Probably both of them needed to go, right? Frederick, this is depressing. Why? Because it's the truth. I can lie to you. I can lie to you, Frederick. What's depressing about it? We got a promising future, in my opinion. It just sucks that we're a year away. It sucks. It sucks that Chris Greer put us in this position. It sucks that the last group of guys that we thought were the answer weren't. It sucks that Tua didn't live up to his draft stock. It sucks that Tyreek and Waddle, didn't do what we envisioned. It sucks that the defense that we had put together underperformed. It sucks. It does suck. But you shouldn't feel like this is depressing because it's the truth. Again, I can sit here and lie to you. I can lie. And if that's what you want, I'll make a separate channel for you. You know what I mean? I can do bad Big C and good Big C, I guess. I can sit here and talk about how Malik Willis and Caleb Douglas are going to take the league by storm this year. I can do that. How Caleb Douglas is going to dominate defensive backs, and we're going to run all over everybody, and our defense is going to be a throwback to the no-name defense. I can do all those things, but they're not the truth, Frederick. So I'm sorry if you feel it's depressing. To me, I'm looking at the brighter side of things. I'm looking at that maybe finally we got the right guys to change this franchise for the good, for the foreseeable future, instead of going in each and every year not knowing what we got, or going into every year hoping we can make the playoffs. I want to be a team that consistently makes the playoffs. That there's something wrong if we don't make the playoffs. Like if the Pittsburgh Steelers don't make the playoffs, you'd be like, wow, what happened to Pittsburgh this year? Because it's expected of them. I want that to be us. I want us to be expected to make the playoffs every single year. And then obviously some years are better than others. Some years you make deep runs into the playoffs. Some years, you might only win one playoff game. But you stay away from the complete rebuilds. There's retooling. The Pittsburgh Steelers typically retool, but they don't rebuild. And all while they do the retooling, they're still a playoff team. I want the Dolphins to be in that position. And I think we're closer to that now, more so than we've been to that in the last 25 years. Glenn says, no, it is not, but they did not have to get rid of Tua or Chubb. Once there was release, we were under the cap. Glenn, yes, we did have to get rid of both those players. There's no way you pay Bradley Chubb that. There's no way you keep Tua Tagovailoa. There's no way. It would have just led to more issues for this football team. If you would have kept Tua on this roster, it would have been an issue. It would have been a distraction. That's not what's best for this football team. Marco says, to purge and clean the cap. You caught expensive aging vets, eat dead cap, trades stars for picks. You're not trying to save cap space. You're trying to get out of the cap hell. You want flexibility in 12. I agree. 12 months, not 3. True Fin Fan says, not only that, we have the 4th largest fan base in the NFL. We haven't won in 53 years. That's a generation. Imagine how many more years, many more if we win. How many bandwagon fans will show up? Probably a lot. Probably a lot, true fan. Right. Probably more so than you think. But screw it. I don't care about them. I care about us. I care about the ones that have suffered through some of that 53 years. Obviously, I haven't been alive 53 years, but I've suffered through 37, 38 of those years. So I'm as thirsty and hungry for a winning season, a winning culture as anybody else. And I finally feel like this might be it. This might be the start of something special. And I wasn't always on board with the Jeff Hafley hiring, the John Eric Sullivan hiring. I still don't know what we have in Malik Willis, but I feel confidently from what I've learned and what I've seen from Jeff Hafley so far in his Dolphin tenure that I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust him. And maybe now I'm the one that's being, delusional because he hasn't shown a lot. Maybe now I'm the one that's being too open to the eye of Jeff Hafley. But I'm gonna trust in Jeff Hafley. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and see where it takes us. I don't know a lot, but I feel like we might have the next great Dolphins head coach. Glenn says Jackson was at practice on Saturday. It's not about him being at practice on Saturday and Monday. It's about him consistently being hurt. I didn't say he's out for the year or anything. I'm just saying that if he's already hurt in training camp, God, he's probably going to be hurt again at some point. At some point, he's probably going to be hurt again. Bonnie says, actually, Hecht has been doing better. Still not good, but not as bad as he was. Yeah, Charlie Heck has been, the last 2 days of camp, he has been better, Bonnie. You're right. You're right about that. The last 2 days of camp, he has been better. He's been serviceable. Serviceable. So, Bonnie, yeah, you're right about that. He has improved the last 2 days. So that's good news, right? That's good news. True Fin fan says we absolutely have the best fans, man. Think about the people who are 25, 35 years old, fans that have never nothing but crap and are diehard fans. These are the best fans in my eyes. They've seen nothing. Yeah, but a lot of what, listen, I'm not trying to put our fan base down, but a lot of our fans, like the Tua debate, right? A lot of our fans were okay with us losing if it meant they could criticize Tua. And a lot of people were happy, all right with us losing if they could praise Tua, which is absolutely crazy to me. You would think that you're just a fan of the team, that you hope and pray that no matter who your quarterback is, whether you like him or not, you're going to cheer for him because he's your quarterback. You may not love him, but he's still your quarterback. Glenn says Keenan Allen's 50 years old, slow as hell. Listen, I'm still taking him. He's going to be where you expect him to be, and he's going to catch the football. Something this group of wide receivers has struggled to do. Jocelyn says if we lose just one of our key players, we won't win a single game. Big Lou says, what's wrong with this fan base? They think because we have a new coach and a new quarterback that we automatically are playoff bound. It's crazy. I'd be happy if we compete and win some good games. Big Lou, you're right on. I'm happy if we see from game 1 to game 16, game 17, progression. If by the time the season's over, we have answers to a lot of our questions. We have answers to whether Chris Johnson is the future number one corner of this football team. If Jordan Phillips can be and Kenneth Grant can be a dominant run stuffing defensive tackle duo. If Chop Robinson can be our pass rush specialist. If one of these receivers can step up and be a starter quality player. Because in my opinion, we got a lot of 3, number 4, number 5 receivers on this team. No number 1s, no number 2s. And that's leaving Chris Bell out of that. Because Chris Bell's injured. But right now, I don't think we have a number 1 or a number 2 receiver on this football team. %62% of our salary is tied up in dead cap. We also have 41-year contract players on cheap contracts. I absolutely hate the fans, broadcasters, and YouTubers that say playoffs, fools. Yeah, you ain't lying, brother. You ain't lying. All right, let's talk about. I read a lot of. Oh, thank you, Joe, for subscribing to the channel. That little surprise there. I appreciate it. Thank you. I thought you was all against Little C because of Pete, but I appreciate that. Miss Finns, what's up? What's up? Make sure you go check out Miss Finn's channel. Subscribe to her shit. It's the truth, you know. Big Lou with the donation. I appreciate you. Big Lou, honestly, I'm not gonna maybe I catch one up here. I'm from New York. I was gonna go down to Florida this year, but I think I'm gonna wait till next year. And go to a game because I don't want to travel and see them lose. I've never been to Hard Rock Stadium, so the first time that I go, I want to win. You know what I mean? And I think when I go down, I'm going to get a big Airbnb, and whoever wants to throw down on it, we'll all get together, stay the night. Maybe we'll stay 2 nights. We'll stay Saturday night and Sunday night, the night of the game. We'll get a bunch of steaks, hang out at the pool, have a couple beers, and have a really good time. You know what I mean? It'll be a good time. So anybody, C Hopeful says they ain't losing this year, Big C. Okay. But anyway, anybody that's interested in that, shoot me a message in my email and we'll get something planned up. But I think that'll be a good time. I don't know if y'all are interested, but you can get a crazy Airbnb and, you know, we get a mansion and 10, 15 people, some steaks, real good time. You know what I mean? But let's talk about day 10 of training camp. What there was to take away from it. Safety Dante Trader Jr., cornerback Juju Brents, wide receiver Kevin Coleman, tight end Ben Sims, and kicker Zane Gonzalez are out. Zane Gonzalez getting put on the IR, so Riley Patterson's going to be our kicker again this year. Miss Finn says you should come for fan club weekend versus Lions this year. Yeah, but we're going to lose that game, Miss Finns. Joe says, I'm just glad my membership didn't go to Jose. Who got it? What did you get? What did you buy, Joe? Oh, you gifted it. You gifted a member. You didn't become a member. You gifted a membership. I still appreciate it. Thank you. I gifted myself. We're not done trading either. I bet you they don't trade for anybody of any significance, Pete. No win now trade. They won't do a win now trade. Edge, Colin Farrell will be out multiple weeks. Defensive lineman Zach Sealer didn't practice today. Tight end Greg Dolich is back without the red jersey. Linebacker Willie Gay Jr. left practice early. Wide receiver Caleb Douglas had a bad focus drop. Surprise, surprise. Listen, if Caleb Douglas could clean up the drops, he'd be a difference maker for this football team. But again, what I'm hearing is that he's afraid to get hit. He's scared to get hit. He's scared to take a hit. And if you're scared to take a hit against your own team, what are you going to do against other people's teams? What are you going to do against the people that are really trying to lay it on you? In practice with your own team, they're not trying to stick you like that. They're not trying to separate you from the ball like that. They're not trying to hurt you like that. But when you go up against the Commanders, they're trying to lay wood. When you go up against the Bills, they're trying to lay wood. So if he's already dropping passes, I am super concerned with that moving forward. And again, he has a history of dropping passes. This isn't a new thing with him. He doesn't got to run routes across the middle. See, hopeful, then he's a limited wide receiver all around then. What's he just going to run go routes? What's he just going to run go routes? If you can't run across the middle, how you a number one receiver? How you a number two receiver? How you a number three receiver? That makes you a situational wide receiver, in my opinion. In the chat, if you can't run over the middle, he just said Caleb Douglas don't got to run over the middle. If Caleb Douglas can't run over the middle, can he be a number one receiver? Can he be a number two receiver? Marco says a one-trick pony. There you go. Comebacks, outs, slants. See, hopeful, a slant isn't over the middle. If you run a slant, it's not over the middle. Yeah, Miss Finn's, me and Miss Finn's got a show tonight, DMZ, Dolphin Media Zone tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Come check it out. We started it last year. It was my fault that we couldn't continue because I had some conflict of scheduling issues, but we're going to go full body this year, strong. Come in. It's going to be a good time. Me and Miss Finn's tonight, 8:30, every Tuesday, 8:30. It's going to be a weekly show. We're going to break down the games, talk about the rumors of this football team, and maybe some other stuff. So make sure you check it out. It'll be a good time. And make sure you check out Pete's channel too. Again, everybody that gets a voice in the community should be heard. You know, I might not agree with everything that is said on anybody else's channel, but you know, these guys and gals are Dolphin fans, and that's what really matters. That's what really matters. That you're a fan. We're all fans. We all want the Miami Dolphins to win. You know what I mean? Maybe we're in disagreements about where our team is or what this team needs to do to be better. But we're all Fin fans at heart, and that's what matters. And we, you know, Pete's channel's great because he gives everybody a chance to talk. You know what I mean? Everybody gets to have an opinion. So go check out Pete's channel. Go check out Miss Finn's. Subscribe, comment, and subscribe. Do all that great stuff. But yeah, if Caleb Douglas could eliminate the drops, the kid might be something special for real. But if he can't, I mean, that's issues. That's a major issue. Yeah, I mean, I'm a media fan. You know what I mean? I'm fake. I'm a fake fan. It's cool. It's cool. Other news. Malik Willis had some good throws on the run. He made one throw off his back foot to Caleb Douglas. Just such an impressive arm. The kid's got such an impressive arm. Uh, that gets me super excited. It gets me super excited. That arm talent is something that we haven't seen in a very long time. Lou says these 5 wins we're going to get this season are going to be lit. Yeah, I don't see more than 5, but Frederick, I'm a 2 in your channel, and are you saying I'm a lying channel? Is that what you're saying, Frederick? Come on, my guy. I guarantee my record is closer than what yours is. Guarantee it. Guaranteed. No audio. Hold on. Hello, hello, hello. Audio's fine. All right, my bad, guys. But yeah, listen. To say I don't know Dolphins is you know what I mean. Listen, I don't pretend to know everything about the Dolphins, not by a long shot. But I do know that you can't put together a successful team with $180 million in dead cap and 40 minimum contract players. Facts. Facts. Bottom line. That's not a dead cat media driven take. That's not. It's a real life take. When you draft Caleb Douglas, you can. No, you can't. You act like the guy's not dropping passes. He's dropping one every 4 passes. Again, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, comment, share. Seahawks were 4th and 1 Super Bowl. That's not far off first. We don't care the amount of. Yes, you got to care the amount of, Pete. That makes a difference. If the Seahawks had 10 million in dead cap and the Dolphins had 180, that's a big deal. If the fastest 40 time is 4.2 seconds and the 4th fastest is a 6 flat, that's a big deal. That's a big difference. Even if that's the 4th fastest. You can't be a successful team with Ross as owner. I don't believe that. I think Ross has put bad people in charge as far as making football decisions that didn't know football. They knew financial things. I think Garfinkel he's a brilliant financial guy, but as far as a football guy, he's not. Are you comparing Jamar Chase to Caleb Douglas? Jamar Chase to Caleb Douglas. Jamar Chase dominated college football before coming to the NFL. Caleb Douglas didn't dominate anybody. Okay, Chase had some drought. He couldn't catch a cold at first, and then he just went off. But are we seriously talking about Caleb Douglas in the same conversation as Jamar Chase? Like, that's just the delusion. That's that crazy delusion. Like, come on. Jamar Chase is dominated at every level he's played at. Caleb Douglas has not dominated anything. Not to mention, you saying Caleb Douglas is better than Waddle. You have no basis on that. Linebacker Jacob Rodriguez and Trey Moore had some good run stops. Cat battles between Rodriguez and linebacker Terrell Dotson. I think that's gonna come down to the end. But I think they give the nod to Rodriguez. Obviously, you're gonna want the young player to play. If Rodriguez, even if Dotson's a little bit better, Rodriguez is gonna get the edge. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Cornerback Chris Johnson's had a good pass breakup on the goal line. Juju Brents has been out. Surprise, surprise. So they're going to be using Chris Johnson a lot more. I think Chris Johnson should not be in the nickel whatsoever. He's a better boundary corner. You drafted this guy in the first round. I don't love drafting nickel corners in the first round. If you're not a boundary guy, if you didn't envision him to be the boundary guy, you shouldn't have drafted him. Bottom line. I know we have more of a need for a nickel corner, but again, if Chris Johnson's not your outside CB1, you shouldn't have drafted him. Bottom line. We did not upgrade at wide receiver. We downgraded. This is the worst wide receiver room in all of football. All of football. I want to show you this pass that I'm talking about that Malik made that it makes me feel like we could have something special in Malik. This pass made me feel like we could have something special in Malik. Hopefully I don't get demonetized for this for whatever reason. All right, let's. Snap, pressure coming off the back foot. Finds Caleb Douglas on the dime. That's a beautiful throw. That's a beautiful throw. Great throw. Throws like that, it gets me excited. It gets me excited. Throws like that get me excited. Oh, God dang. Yeah, Glenn, that's his job to catch the football. He's not catching it on a consistent basis. He's scared to get hit. I disagree. You don't just hire anybody just because they have a big name. What you're missing is Coach Halfley watches tape on players and they knows who plays hard and who doesn't. P, I never said they didn't. You're just blinded. You don't listen. You fail to listen to anything that is said. You don't listen to anything that's said. No, I've seen plays where he drops the ball, looks like he's scared to get hit. I don't need to hear from Omar on everything. Like I just don't I don't get you guys. I don't get certain fans. What's your argument? That he's not dropping balls on a consistent basis? That he's not dropping the ball way too much? Are you arguing that? You're okay with the amount of passes that he's dropping? Lou, how many passes? Lou says they threw him 3 passes. He dropped one. And regardless, Glenn, are you acting like Omar Kelly's not sitting there watching practice? Is he not watching practice? Obviously, that is good, right? Obviously, 1/3 is good. Go ahead, Pete. You there? Pete, you there? Hello? Hello? You
Hello,
catch
can
us?
you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Good morning, C. How you doing today? Fans up, fans up. Thank you for having me up. Shout out to you for having this show today, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. What's up?
Nothing, man. I just you went off base. You said this throw got you excited when you put that clip up. You said this throw got me excited when you put that clip up.
It did.
What can you break that down? That's what I'm asking for. What about that play that you saw that you put on your show on your screen that excited you? Because you can't just say, "Oh, look at this play." 2 seconds later, take off the play off your screen and say that was exciting.
Well,
What
I took
was
it
it
off.
that was
I took it
exciting?
off because I don't want to get copyrighted. But
I hear you. I
it,
hear you. But what
I
was
like
it that was exciting? You don't even have to play the play. Break it down.
the,
Tell us what you
the
saw off that play that
the
was
escaping the
exciting.
pressure, the throwing off of 1 foot, and how accurate the pass was throwing off balanced.
So now, after 5, 6 years, now Dolphin fans want to find that not throwing on a platform mechanically like Tua. Now it's exciting to some of y'all now. When this is what we've probably been begging for the last 10 years as out of our quarterbacks. Now, what Malik Willis is giving you guys that is so exciting that he could throw off, he could hop and throw. Tua couldn't hop and throw. You see what I'm saying? So now that we got a quarterback that is so exciting that can do things that are not have to be fundamentally dialed up in a play. One read, throw it this way, and that's it. Tua. Now that we got a real quarterback, now that we got real football players, guys like C and your chat want to turn around and make it seem like this team is crap. Like this team don't have no talent. No, 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 no. I know you want to talk, but let me speak for one more second. And you, especially you, with that media driven, we have dead cap. We have dead cap money. Bro, let me tell you something. That dead cap money did not stop us from loading up on a roster with talent. That dead cap money, let me tell you something, see? Because this is the last thing I'm going to say before I let you go, because I know you got a lot to say. Our players that were on the team last
Time out.
year.
I don't want you to
Listen,
go nowhere. I want you to let me talk.
I'm not.
I want
I'm
you to
not
listen.
going. But I want you to know something. The players we've had on the roster under Tua and McDaniel, I want you to think about this. They were held back from being the best they can be because of poor coaching environment, limited quarterback, and no trust and belief in the system. That alone held this roster back. This is a fighting and a winning team right now. This is why they felt comfortable going with the history of that dead cap money you media driven fans love to bring up. It's all yours.
Again, I give you the benefit of the doubt that we're better at quarterback. I think Tua absolutely fell off, and I think Tua was limited in a lot of things that he could do. I thought Tua could succeed, and if this makes me a Tua-neer, then I guess I'm a Tua-neer. The reason I felt that Tua could succeed is what they put around Tua, the weapons that they gave Tua, the big spending on defense that they gave Tua. All the things that they gave Tua is the reason I felt
Name
like
the
Tua
weapons they gave Tua.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
That's it. It's the only
John
weapon.
Smith.
It's only Jonnu Smith.
Is a receiving tight end. He's not.
That I've been told y'all Jonnu Smith ain't that good. Where he at? Where he at? He was a product of the check down Tua market. That's
he still
it.
Had his, he still had a skill
done
set.
anything. He's out of the league.
He still
Nobody
had a
outside
skill
him.
set.
There's no
He still had
talent,
a-
bro. Y'all making that up. Tua held the talent back.
Well, I mean, he had his best year with Tua. Tyreek had his best year with Tua.
Tyreek, that was it. Tyreek.
Waddle had his
that
best
was
year
it.
with Tua.
Waddle is bad, bro. Waddle, Caleb Douglas is better than Jalen Waddle.
Again, my reasoning is that the things that we put around Tua is the reason that I felt Tua could succeed. Now you take away all those things, and yes, we may be better at quarterback, but we are so much worse at almost every other position. Almost every other position we're worse.
You know what's funny?
So how is a quarterback, one singular quarterback that we're still not sure is the complete real deal, because we have very limited.
Well, we don't have one quarterback. We got two, right?
Evidence.
Don't we got two quarterbacks we're counting on?
I don't know. Year? Quinn Ewers is
Malik Willis and Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers been horrible. Quinn's been horrible lately.
Oh, you see, that's how I know you're media driven. This is a fact. You are media driven. How do you know he's been horrible? That's the question. How do you know? Because the media
obviously
has told you.
No,
the media has told
people
you. No. Wait.
Report
the
news.
media
people report
has
news.
told you. Align Poupart, Omar Kelly's TD. The media has told you he hasn't been good in practice. Am I right or wrong? So now,
we're not
because the media
guys
have told you, no. But now, because the media guys have told you, I'm going to tell you why I don't listen to any of these guys, and I like these guys. I don't care what my team does in practice. See, do you not hear what my new head coach is telling you? He's putting players in their weakness spot so they can get better at weaknesses. If Tua was here under Halfley, you know what Halfley will be doing? Lining up these receivers to go deep. All deep. Go ahead. You got a 9 route. You're going deep every play. We're going to get that arm strengthened up, and you're going to start throwing deep balls. Is Tua going to look good when Halfley in practice is making them throw them deep balls out there, 50, 60 yards? Is Tua going to look good, see? Because that's the way coach is telling you he's coaching up our players. So now, because he's coaching up the weaknesses of the players and getting them in tune in practice, you guys think they're trash. You guys think they're not good. That's a
think Pete,
media-driven. Why can't y'all be like? Why can't y'all be more like? Why can't y'all be more like actual fans and say, you know what? When the joint practices come out, we'll pay attention to that. When preseason and we got films with our own eyes, we'll talk about that. Right now, a lot of these guys, see, just like yourself, y'all been talking loud and barking like a big pit bull under this Tua McDaniel regime. Just to come find out when y'all got out that doghouse, it was a bunch of chihuahuas. Loud
You're
and wrong.
You're still gonna twist it.
That's Chihuahua, bro.
You're still gonna twist it.
Inside that doghouse, y'all sounded like pit bulls, but now y'all sounding like chihuahuas. Go ahead.
Can I talk? You just criticizing calling names now. You want to call Chihuahua all this?
Yeah.
All right, you call names. Let's have a real discussion instead of the name calling. All right, you can say I'm a driven media fan, whatever. First off, you should be able to believe the people that are reporting what happens at camp. You should be able to believe that. And you'll just.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe they know what they're practicing on. I don't believe they have the knowledge to go because they never tell you. This is what
do you think they know what an interception
is? Do they tell you this is what they're practicing on? Matter of fact, let me tell you something. They were hyping up Caleb Douglas, and I'm the number one Caleb Douglas hyper in the community because I saw the film early. I know he's going to be good. I told y'all he's going to be good, but now the hype is coming out. And you know what the hype was last week practice? Oh, Caleb Douglas is making outside catches on the boundary. It's looking sweet. Malik Willis with a beautiful dime. When we saw that play, there wasn't even a defense on the field, bro. So now you believe, like media-driven fans would believe, Malik was cooking last week on that particular play when there wasn't even a defense on the field to stop that play. Name a quarterback that would not have looked good on that particular play for these writers to not write that he looked good on that play with no defense on field, bro.
Did I say he looked good on that play?
Everybody was saying, yeah, he's cooking. The whole community, bro.
But there's got to be a defense on the field for you to throw to the other team for interception, right? Quinn Ewers is turning the ball over in practice at a high rate. Every day he's turning the ball over.
Here you go. And what did Coach Hafley say? What did Coach Hafley say about that?
You think Jeff Hafley tells the media everything? You think he does?
My guy, let me tell you.
You think he's completely honest? You think 100%. Jeff Hafley thinks 100%, this is a playoff 100%. Team?
When have they lied? Well, why do you think our head coach is a liar? So now you want to call him a liar? You're that mad, and you don't like this regime so much.
You just want to put words in everybody's mouth.
Why are we making trades if we're not going to compete? Why are we making moves if we're not going to compete?
Who did you trade for? Who did you trade for?
Wait, we made a trade?
Yeah, we traded for the tackle.
Yeah, we traded for a six. We traded for a guy that was going to get released.
You see, when you don't know your information. I
do know my information.
He said we traded a guy that
was
a
position? Tell me something more.
So then you know.
Sixth rounder. First of all,
so then you know he would have got picked up quick as hell. You know that, right?
What do you?
Yeah, he was not going to make it past the waiver wire, Cap. This is a guy that was drafted in the third round by the Patriots, and they ended up drafting too many guys on that offensive line. The center
he can play right tackle and left tackle, bro.
And they drafted Will Campbell. He was a third rounder behind.
So why did we give up a 6th round pick for him? They gave us a 7th back and the player.
Because we need it. What you mean? If we had to make trades for somebody who's going to get picked up off the waiver.
Why didn't get a 3rd rounder for him? Why didn't they get a 4th rounder for him? If he's so talented and so good.
What do you mean?
Why didn't the Patriots get a 3rd or 4th round pick?
I don't understand.
He was a 3rd round pick a couple of years ago. Why didn't they? If he's such a good player, why didn't they get a better draft pick in return for him?
You're asking for us to give up what? Like, come on! Like you should know the order of this, how it works, bro. This guy's a 6th round comparison,
not even a starter. He's a 3rd rounder that hasn't started. Why are you putting so much on that? You don't think that's a good move for us to bring in a
He doesn't think it's a good move. No, I think he thinks it's just not a good move. He hates it, bro.
I'm telling you, when you're that down bad on this team, you're going to dislike everything. Everything is bad. When you're a Dolphin, when some of these guys, when you become a Dolphin, you're automatically trapped.
He's not. No, that's not true.
It can also help us with understanding the Patriots' game plan.
Yes. See that's what I mean, man. Like, yeah, think out the box. Yeah, yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
What do you mean? That's intel.
That's a good point because
Was
they
he on the
didn't change-
roster last?
Joe, that's
the
a
last
good
2
point.
years?
Yeah, he was.
Good point.
And Joe, that's a good point. You know why? Josh McDaniels was there last year as the offensive coordinator. It's going to be the same crap. The only thing this offensive line isn't going to know is the new.
To me, this is that typical
Everything else-
interdivision, player grabbing that we see every team do. Remember when who was it that went up to New England from us? Sherfield.
Mac Hollins?
I think it was Sherfield.
Walker,
Or was that Buffalo?
Wes Welker.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of guys. Even our backup, didn't we have a backup QB go to
Mike White.
Mike White.
He went to Buffalo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's the same kind of concept. I think it's just
It's not though because we're bad and they went to the Super Bowl last year.
We're bad.
Let me get this
Yeah,
straight.
there's
no,
bad
that's a
teams.
good thing.
This bad
They
team-
don't have
this
players
bad
to steal
team
from
with
us.
So
bad
we
quarterback last year
drafted-
won 7 games.
Big C, let me ask this question. So because we picked up on a lineman, right? So we picked up a lineman.
Yep.
This is big spending. I'm trying to figure this out correctly. So we did a big trade, right? Because we gave up a lot, correct?
There's no downside to the
God
trade.
knows, because
I didn't say there's a downside. I just said it's
God
not a
knows, I
needle.
heard
It's
somebody-
not a needle moving trade. You said
Right,
the
that's what I'm saying.
comment
So,
was
but
made.
what I wanna
Time
hear-
out. The comment was made. We're not trying to win, but why are we making trades?
So we saw Austin Jackson. We saw Austin Jackson go down, and you're saying it doesn't
it's
help.
young depth.
No,
It's young depth.
but I find it funny. What I find
not a difference-making
even more
trade.
comical is that somebody
Depth.
actually
We
came
needed
up to
depth.
this panel right now and said when someone asked what did we give up for them, like we know that somebody else would have given a fifth or a fourth. Would the team that traded him not have taken that trade instead of ours?
Absolutely.
The Patriots
I mean,
could have easily done him a favor. The Patriots could have easily done him a favor. He probably knew
Why would you
the
do-
Dolphins
why
were
would you do
interested.
a favor?
the
He probably
picks were
knew
barely
the
any
Dolphins
value.
were interested.
Why would you
and
do a guy a
teams
favor
sometimes-
to a divisional rival?
Because teams
Why
do
would
that.
you do?
Teams
This
do
is
that.
just dumb talk,
Teams
bro.
do that.
Bro, look,
Teams do
Alonzo
that all the
Highsmith.
time.
Ain't
Look,
nobody gonna
Alonzo
do that, bro.
Highsmith.
Teams
Bro,
do that all the
Alonzo Highsmith and Sully used to work together in Green Bay. Highsmith happens
Mike
to be
McDaniel-
part of the
Mike
Patriots, bro.
McDaniel-
This is
Yeah,
a buddy
yeah.
buddy
You guys-
swap
You
right
guys
here, bro.
are acting.
you guys gotta
are
understand
acting
what
like we
this-
just picked up an all-pro offensive lineman. What did we give up? What in the hell has told anybody here that we gave up? So all this capital, money,
We didn't give
or
up
draft.
anything.
Exactly.
We didn't give up
So why are we
anything. That's a good
acting?
part.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. This is exactly why people need to realize when they say things. Because the fact of the matter is we were in salary cap hell. All right. We've done
Right.
all we could do right now.
Yeah,
and we're
salary
moving
cap. I'm
forward.
glad you reminded me of that.
This,
You
I
just
think
don't wanna admit
a
it,
lot of people
but you're
see
dead
We're in
trades.
wrong.
that
salary
make
cap
freak out.
hell, but yet we just made a trade and got a
Dead-ass
new
wrong.
player in the team.
Who did we get him for what? How much did we sign him
It's
for?
not.
What
It's
did we
barely
give
a
up?
So much
trade.
dead
It's
cap.
a
The dead cap is
signing that
killing
we
us
paid
so
for.
bad. I
This
remember
is
some
dumb,
of these
man.
guys told
This
us.
is just
I remember
as
some of these
blind and
media-driven
deaf as
fans
I've
told
heard
us
in a long time,
we're
bro.
not going to be able to make no moves.
Please
This
stop
is the
talking over
roster.
people. Like you do that constantly. You talk over people that and don't want to hear their points of view.
Because he gets upset at the truth.
They keep
Yeah,
repeating.
I mean,
he doesn't like
See, you don't
logic.
hear the same thing over and over. I got something new.
Yeah,
How
I
dare
do.
you
I
bring
do. I hear
logic
it from
to the
you,
piece
bro.
Don't you
now?
get tired of? I got something new to bring. These guys
That's
are
what I hear.
repeating the same thing.
That's what I hear from you.
He brought up dead cap. I switched it up to dead cap. How come dead cap ain't stopped us from
Let
making this
let
trade?
him let him
You
let him finish his
media-driven,
let him
dead
finish
cap
his
guy.
comment though, and then you talk. Let him finish, then you talk.
All I'm saying is
That's
this.
how
All I'm saying is
conversations
this.
work.
Okay, I'll let Pete go because me and him have had this disagreement on his show 1,000 times. All right, we are in a situation right now where we are building for the future. The problem is that the fanatical fans don't want to accept that reality. And people don't, the casual fanatical fan, I'm not calling you this Pete by any stretch of the means. I'm calling, I'm
You
calling,
can think
I'm,
whatever I am, bro.
no, I don't think that about you. I just, this has nothing to do with you. I mean, in general, we need to realize, and I told you this on your show several times, and I hate to repeat it again, over and over again. All right. When the salary cap was invented in 1994, it was to make sure that the smaller market teams could compete monetarily wise with the bigger market teams. That is when the word rebuilt was
Oh,
created.
the Dolphins are a
Right.
smaller market
And
team.
that
See,
was,
the
no,
Dolphins
I'm
are a
just,
small market team. Make
no,
this take make sense, bro.
no, bro, you don't understand, bro. I'm not talking about the Dolphins in general. It's the NFL. This is why you have another word that was created from 1994 forward called the window. You have a certain amount of window before you could win, or you have to tear it up and rebuild again because you cannot afford all the salaries. Do you understand that? Now I don't know how to tell you this anymore.
So then you got. So then we're not happy about getting a tackle or a right tackle or a
No,
No,
no
bro,
cap,
these
no
guys are
cap,
still
no cap,
wrong on the
no
salary
cap,
cap,
no
bro. They
cap. That's
think
not what I'm
salary
saying,
cap
Cap.
means you're
What I'm
trash,
saying,
bro.
Cap, what I'm
tired of
saying,
talking
Cap,
about
is the
that.
lying and the delusional
That
takes by
cap
some
is media
people
driven,
that want to
Joe.
pretend like
Straight
this
up.
pickup from a nobody who's a bust, all right, that this pickup means that we're spending big bucks.
Joe, you know
They
what's
made the
funny,
moves
Joe?
they could.
We would
They
not
made the
be
moves they
in this
could
dead cap hit.
to free up money, and they're done with it now. Moving forward, all you're going to
Joe,
see is these kind of pickups. This is it. Practice
Joe, you
squad
know what's
pickups,
funny? You know what's
bust
funny, Joe?
pickups for
If
sixth
if
and seventh
if
rounds. Now you don't get it. You could talk all you want, all the
I
crazy
don't
nonsense
get
you
it,
talk
and I don't
because
care
you don't
about
get
it.
it.
Make it
You
up.
just
It's
don't
all
have the
media. I know.
capability to
I get
understand
it.
it.
I get it. But I hope you guys get it. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now.
Pete, what's the salary
If
cap?
Halfley,
Pete, what
if
is the salary
Halfley,
cap for
if
all teams this
Halfley,
year?
if Halfley didn't want to
Big
be
C, can you
dealing with
answer me
this
that? What is the
dead
salary
cap,
cap for all the
if
teams this
Halfley
year?
didn't want to deal with this dead
300
cap
million.
historic stuff,
How much
guess
dead
what?
cap do we
He would
carry?
have
And
never
what's the
cut Tua.
percentage?
180.
If he would have
180.
never
And what's
cut
the
2%,
and what's the
if
percentage?
we would have still
Thank
had
you.
Tua
This
on the
poor kid
roster
doesn't get it,
in an
man.
open quarterback
I'll be
competition
back
right
because I'm
now
working
against
and I'll be
Malik
listening to y'all
Willis,
guys. Stay up,
if
fins up
Halfley
always.
would have
And the
kept
truth hurts
All right,
no matter
brother.
Tua
what.
in an open
I'll be
quarterback
back if you're still
competition
on.
against Malik Willis,
All right, thanks,
will
brother.
we be in that historic dead cap hit, fellas?
I don't know. I don't know why you're talking about the salary cap.
They're talking about the salary cap. This is
I
all
thought we were
what
talking
I
about
brought
the
up,
trade.
Joe. I brought up the salary cap because remember what these dead cap, salary cap guys said. We're not going to be able to make no trades, they said. We can't get good players. We're not going to bring in
We didn't
players.
get a
They
good
actually said
player. We didn't
they
get a
said
good
it was the
player.
draft and that's it, Joe. Now,
We actually
2-3
picked up
months
another
after
player.
the draft, we're still making splash trades, bringing in depth
Yeah,
for
but
quality positions.
yes, it's technically a trade, but we have to look at what this move actually was.
This was a splash trade, right?
This
come
well,
on,
this
like-
was basically this guy was about to get cut, and instead of letting this
Yes,
guy go to
yes.
a point where another team could grab him, we basically paid a small amount because you got to look at what the
Yes.
trade actually was. We paid a small
Yep.
amount to get preference of the guy, and what we traded was a 6th in 2028 for a 7th in 2029. So that exchange is barely any value at all. Like the player we're talking about that swapping for probably doesn't even make the roster.
You're absolutely right. And that's my thing.
It's giving up a late
not a bad
round
trade.
pick for it's not even giving up a pick. It's just shifting it back by probably 20 slots in the late 7th.
So how
Not
long has this
even.
guy? Hey, how long has he been in the league?
I think it's been 3 years.
2-3 years, yeah.
So he's been in the league for less than 4 years.
Wait, let me see. No, he's 26, so the 2024 draft.
So he was
67 overall in the 2024 draft.
so
So 2 years.
basically it sounds like he was in college for a little long time and then he got drafted late because he's been in the league for less than 3 years. He's
Well,
a guard.
he got drafted at 24, so that's not that long.
What college is he from?
Penn State. He was
And-
all Big Ten in 2023, and then the following draft, he was drafted 3rd round, 67 overall, which is early 3rd, I believe.
So
Yeah.
is he? Can he play right tackle? Can he play left tackle? Can he play guard? I mean,
I don't know.
what do we know?
I don't know anything about him. His name's Caden Wallace. We should probably give him a name. But I have no idea. 6'5", 314.
It's not a bad trade.
He's
It's not a
started
bad
2
trade
games in his
whatsoever.
career.
It's just not a trade that's going to make us better. It's not.
I mean, it's depth. I mean, we were complaining about right tackle last week. I mean, what else
Yes,
do you guys
you
want?
guys said it. You guys said us. Pete's on here saying splash plays. Oh, we don't have no salary cap room. Well, how are we making splash trades? Like, give me a break.
Well, I mean, both these can be true, right? Like, if we're not supposed to be making moves, how do we have a roster that's full?
So this guy's played in 10 games total over the 2 years with the Patriots. He started in 2 in 2024 and no starts last year. But
Good afternoon, Lou. Or good morning.
He played
Still morning.
10 games in these 2 years.
Lou!
How you doing? How you doing today?
Either way, it's good depth. We needed depth on that line,
bro.
It was I don't hate the move at all. And like I brought up earlier, like getting someone from a division rival is never a bad thing.
So you prefer we don't pick up any linemen and we just let him walk and he gets picked up by a contender and then he ends up helping a contender.
Everybody want to put words in people's mouths. First off, he's not helping anybody. He's a body. He's a body. That's what he is. That's all he's going to be.
That we need.
Okay, but he's not
a body. A body is. Do you mean he's not going to make the 53? Because if you're talking about a body,
I doubt he makes the 53. I doubt it.
Wow. I mean, our depth isn't that impressive. It's to say that he can't beat out.
So we traded regardless of the draft pick we traded or swapped with. We basically are gonna just throw that away and cut him if that's what you're thinking. Like we just picked up a trade for nothing.
The value was next to nothing at what we paid. So it's.
I'm saying his spot is not guaranteed whatsoever. This is not a needle moving trade. This is not a trade that overly helps. Yeah, it's in depth, but if you're playing on that big difference, then I don't know what to tell you. It's not a bad trade.
I mean, you look at our backups. You got Sawyer, Preeb. Is Sawyer healthy?
Not yet.
No.
You got Preeb. I don't know anything about Josh Preeb. You got Andrew Meyer, DJ Campbell, and Charlie Heck. I mean, I think none of these guys have like a.
Heck might get cut before this new guy gets cut.
And Heck can possibly get cut. And good morning to all you gentlemen. Heck could possibly get cut. The problem is this guy's he's Charlie Heck 2.0. He sucks too. So you're going to cut one guy that sucks to bring in another guy that sucks. Like, okay, cool. I get it. It's depth. Cool. Joe Ridge just told you he's a 2-year player. He's played in 10 games. He had 2 starts on a team, mind you, that had one of the worst offensive lines 2 years ago. And last year, their offensive line wasn't good neither. So you mean to tell me everybody's getting excited for a guy that couldn't get on that offensive line? But we're supposed to be excited over here? He sucks, bro. It's depth. Okay, cool. It's depth. He sucks. Like, I don't know what the excitement here is for.
If he starts any games, we're in trouble. If he plays for the Dolphins, you're in trouble at that position. Believe that.
Well, I don't know what Pete's point was. I think Pete's point was that it's proof that we're not in a rebuild because we're still trading.
How is it a proof? How is that a proof?
It doesn't matter. Didn't Pete just go live the other day and say the team was going to be 0-17?
Yes,
after Silman got hired or whatever. Pete's the biggest flip-flopper, and then he calls everybody else in this community the biggest flip-flopper in the world. Pete is right. I used to scream my lungs out that Tua Tagovailoa was good. Well, Pete used to scream on the top of his lung that Skylar Thompson was good. Now what? So I guess I was wrong, and I guess Pete's now is wrong. Now what? Where do we go from there? You see how that goes? You see how that goes? But you see how that goes? These people, Pete, right, will sit here and scream, oh, look at all these people that were wrong. You know how many times Pete was wrong? And I like Pete. I'm not taking a shot at Pete, but it's like every time Pete comes up here, it's always, well, these guys said this. Well, you said Skylar Thompson was supposed to be legit. Well, you were wrong. You said Jacoby Brissett was good. You were wrong. That doesn't make you a bad person. That just makes you wrong in your evaluation. Cool. Can we move on the Tua shit? No one talks about Tua except, you know what's crazy? The same people that call people Tua-neers on a day-to-day basis are the same ones that are still talking about Tua.
They love to talk about him, right?
But the Tua-neers, supposedly, me, right, and others, we don't bring up Tua anymore. Funny how that works, but we're the Tua-neers.
So, I mean, Do we like the McLeod move at least? Like, no.
Do you know
I
anything
just don't
about
think these moves are difference makers. I just don't think that they elevate the team. So I'm indifferent to them. If that makes sense.
I mean,
It's not a move that I feel like makes them better.
I don't know what to say, man. It just sounds like every time we do something, it's like, it's not gonna matter. It doesn't matter.
If you brought in Keenan Allen, I feel like that would help our quarterback. If you brought in a player, if you brought in a player of substance, then yeah, I would say that helps. If we would have re-signed Rasul Douglas, I would have felt like that would make our secondary better.
Okay, so you're telling me, okay, bet. Oh, so you're telling me if we pick up one of those two guys, then your mindset will change?
Wait, Rasul Douglas is still out there?
No, wait. You're saying if we pick up he got picked up by the Commanders?
Yeah.
Rasul Douglas is with the Commanders, yes.
Okay, so let's say we get Keenan Allen, hypothetically. Then you're okay. Then you're on board.
No, I'm saying that he helps the team. I don't think that turns us into a playoff team or a
I'd rather see what the young guys got.
You know what I mean?
I would too.
I just think he would be.
I mean, Keenan Allen would. Yeah, Keenan Allen would be a third down reliable option on third downs and stuff. But again, at his age, he's not blowing by people. He would be a possession receiver, but I don't know. I don't think that guy's leaving the state of California. He'll probably just re-sign on a cheap deal with the Chargers to go back. He's closer to the end of his career anyway.
Nor are the Dolphins signing any player of that caliber because whether you want to believe it or not, Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan know what this football team is. They know that this is rebuilding football team, that they don't have a shot at the playoffs. They know what this team is.
I just don't get the conversation, though, when everybody says there's no excitement. No, the excitement should be that we finally got, it seems like a front office that actually knows what they're doing. It seems like we got a coach that is a no-nonsense coach that's going to hold players accountable, this, that, and the third. I just don't understand where people see that this team is a void of talent. There are deficiencies and holes on this team. So, yeah, 2026 might not be our year, but another year of them drafting players. Another year in 27 when you got almost $100 million in salary cap that you can go play with in free agency. I think we're building something. I think we got the right guys in place. That's the excitement. But people that think that this team is actually going to win in 2026, I'm sorry, it's not happening. So I'm not trying to take no one's excitement away. Again, be excited for the future. But the futures don't start in 2026. It doesn't.
I agree.
I'm excited about the coach. I'm not sold on the drafting yet. I don't know if that's the coach or if that's on the GM or what.
You can't be sold on the drafting yet. They haven't played a game. Like this year is about these guys getting better.
There's still things I can judge. I mean, they're still playing. I could judge how they're playing their hand. Yes, we don't know what is going to be the rest of the flop, right? But we know if they're addressing the right positions, if they're taking good advantage of talent that we see with our own eyes. You know, we sat there and said the same thing about Greer's draft picks. We said we could say the same exact thing about Greer's draft picks. Yet, you know, we all have opinions on these guys, and sure enough, most of them panned out to be ass cheeks. And I'm looking at this draft and I'm saying I think that they could have made better moves. I like the coach we have. That's not to say I dislike some of the players we drafted. I just think we could have made better moves, more appropriate moves. And I'll stand on that.
I feel like they could have made some better choices, specifically in that third round. But, you know,
I'm not even in the third round. Like, I like Proctor. I think Proctor's going to be a good lineman for us, but I don't think it was the right move. Right, there were other players, there were even other linemen that I would have gone after there. Right, I think Chris Johnson's a good corner, but I don't know about investing a first-round pick on him. Right, I think
especially if you're playing him in the nickel.
Well, that's one thing. I think that's one of the strategy of our coach, but also, yeah, like you're counting on a rookie being the guy, right? We don't even have a veteran in the room, really. Juju Brents is our veteran corner.
Well, I mean, whoever you took as a rookie corner, you know, you're counting on to be one of your starting corners just because
Yeah,
we
but
have
he shouldn't be like the only corner in the room. You should have someone alongside of him on the field, at least even at the safety position. But we don't have any of those either. So I really, I don't agree with most of the picks. Right, like Jacob Rodriguez might be a great player. Right, I think people are way too hyped about him. But I think if you look at the roster, how we have it now with the intention to keep Brooks around, was it really necessary when we have guys like Dodson and Gay already on the depth chart? Was that the position we needed to address now?
I think they weren't sure if they were going to bring Brooks back at the time, possibly.
But if we took the pick, if we made the pick, why keep him, right? Like,
I mean, he's an all-pro player. I mean, you don't just get rid of all-pro players for nothing. And I don't think the draft capital.
Yeah, but how would that? I don't think. Why would it depend on the draft if we went and we got the second best linebacker in the draft, basically, and then we end up keeping Brooks anyway.
I mean, you could keep Brooks in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think they intended to keep him. I think it was all just about numbers the whole time. I think it was all just about.
This is a team that is more than 1 year old. Regardless of what they did in the draft, they were not going to be able to fill all the holes. So if you felt like
I agree. I think that there was a more methodical way that they could have done it, to where we're either competing halfway through this season or by next year we're surefire competing, instead of getting to like 7 wins and calling it an accomplishment.
Joe, there was not, realistically there was nothing they could have did in this draft to be able to compete this year. There was nothing.
I don't know. I disagree.
Rookie players are going to struggle regardless. What draft picks do you think they could have made in a perfect Joe world? What draft picks could they have made that you felt like would have made them that out to compete this year?
Personally, I would have gone edge and receiver in the first round. That's what I would have done. Because we passed on Downs, right? We gave that up. I would have gone Downs and probably an edge in the late first as well, so that we could have a competent defense, right? And then I would go with, instead of the Jacob Rodriguez pick, I would go with a receiver there. I would have addressed the edge, the receiver, and probably safety, because we don't have
what receiver would you have taken? Because I didn't like.
I would have gone after. I would have liked to have Boston, who's now a Brown. I also would have been fine with the other Brown, Concepcion. We could have, but we could have got Boston I think in the late first, or even like slid up a few spots. I forget where he ended up going, what exact pick. But we could have had a true one receiver like Boston, and get him going early, and get him having chemistry with Malik, and we could have Reuben Bain. Right, so that we actually have someone that offenses are worried about,
and that would have been enough.
If we didn't get Bain,
I think that would have been more than adding another guard, right? Because Proctor's going to end up playing guard if Jackson and Paul are out there. So I get what they did by getting this versatile offensive lineman, because if an injury happens, you could slide them. Next year, you could slide them, right? Like, you could use them in more ways. It makes sense. But it's also like it wasn't a dire need position, in my opinion, to fill that guard slot yet.
So if Austin Jackson,
if we were going to fill it,
yeah, but if let's say Austin Jackson gets hurt, which he typically does, all you got in that offensive line is Patrick Paul and Aaron Brewer. They're
well, I would have gone lineman, in the third round, right? Because we would have addressed wide receiver already. We wouldn't have had to draft a stable of them in Douglas, Bell, and Coleman, all in those mid rounds. Is it Coleman? Is that
a rookie receiver?
Yeah. What is his last name?
Yeah, Coleman.
Yeah, Kevin Coleman.
Yeah. I'm mixing him up with the rookie I want out of next year with Cam Coleman. But if we had taken a true one receiver there in the first round, I don't think we would have needed to draft 3 freaking wide receivers like all grouped up like that. And we could have gone lineman in the third round to have someone as a backup once there's an inevitable injury. So I just, to me, there's
they're
like,
not considering character, which obviously was a huge factor. You do know that Caden Proctor was considered a questionable character guy, right?
well, I think that all stemmed from like a Saban thing, right? I think it all bloomed from like a Saban report that like he was concerned about his conditioning and like willingness to condition before the season or something like that.
Yeah, right after that, he lost all that weight and got into shape.
Yeah.
Then Saban left.
Yeah. So I don't know. I had bad habits when I was a freshman and sophomore in college too.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying you hold it against him, but he's saying, "Oh, well, character. You're not taking character into account." I mean, if they were just concerned with character, they would have stayed away from dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it was. I think with the character concern, it's more about like what the presence is like in the locker room, not necessarily like conditioning issues. Which to me, that's all I had ever heard. It wasn't ever like a personality thing.
Okay, so this is what I'm getting, bro. So I'm getting so far from the fantasy world that A-Chain's going to be top 5, and that Malik Willis is pretty much creeping into the top 10 as far as fantasy relevance. He's labeled categorically right now around the 15-12 range. Do you think that's a fair, assessment?
I do. You know
Malik?
why? 'Cause I think this offense is going to be trying to work other things out besides just spamming Achan. I think they're going to be working on these new receivers and Malik and getting more vertical. And plus, if Malik does end up as a running guy, like if he's doing like 10 carries a game or like 9 carries a game, that's going to eat away at Achan's carries if they're using Ollie Gordon more than the previous regime used to.
No, I believe we will use Ollie. I'm with you on that. But do you believe Halfley? Or do you think he's just playing strategy when he said on Rich Eisen's show yesterday that?
Oh yeah, he's there's no way he's actually giving out game plan like that. I saw that too. I think that's like a.
I think he's saying what people want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like 40 to 45 touches, and I'm not going to get him out the game.
Yeah,
like, I think he's going to do that.
Like, he's just like juicing up the team. I don't think that's actually like his game plan. I don't know. I don't buy into anything coaches say before the season starts. I want to hear what this guy says after game 1 when he's at the podium, whether we win or lose.
I mean, he's not going to talk negative about his own team, obviously. You know what I mean? He's gonna say that this isn't a rebuild. He don't want his players to believe that.
No, he basically said that. He basically said we're starting from scratch. You didn't hear that? He's basically admitted that. Yeah, no, we're just trying to set a foundation, like expectation levels. Like he pretty much said it. Like I want expectation levels, but we got to deal with reality. So if he's talking about reality,
I gotta get out of here. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, bro. And again, Cap, I wasn't saying that the trade was a bad trade. I'm just saying I don't think it's a trade that makes us a whole lot better. Is it?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
You know what I mean? We need a body. Obviously,
this could be like this could be Jesse Davis. This can be Bohr. It could be Borum, whatever his name was. Like
Borum,
it could be Hank.
It's not. It's not Laramie Tunsil though. You know what I mean?
No.
It's not getting Laramie Tunsil. It's not.
Washington, hey, I guarantee you, Washington would have picked that guy up too right now. You know that. Tunsil's out.
I mean, Tunsil went down, and maybe if, like I said, if he starts, I think we're in trouble if he starts. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a play. Charlie Heck, if he starts, I think we're gonna have issues if he starts. Again, I think this team, and you can listen to Pete and let Pete get in your head. Everybody can let Pete get in their head. I'm not negative on this team. I'm just trying to be realistic what this team currently is. Again, I had faith in Tua Tagovailoa because the things that were around Tua. You got to admit, Cap, we put a hell of a team around Tua. We gave him every opportunity to win. He couldn't do it.
As long as you're saying that, as long as you're saying we did everything we could to help that guy and he still couldn't do it, as long as you're saying that, I'm okay with that.
But Malik, we haven't given him everything because we're still trying to get out of the hole that Chris Greer dug us.
So that's what I'm saying. If he does that with less,
but again, all these other teams got money to spend on players, Cat. All these other teams, you know, don't have first year head coaches, or you know what I mean, that have never been head coaches. Even the Giants got a seasoned head coach, a head coach that knows what he's doing. Jeff
Bro, so
Hafley.
look, we can put Mike Quinn into a good comparison here. Mike Quinn leaves, goes to Washington, is a defensive oriented coach, doesn't have a defense that he's playing with at full strength, doesn't have an offense with a rookie quarterback, and they end up winning the division in the NFC East, mind you, against Cowboys, Philly, and the Giants. The Giants are the Giants, but I mean, let's be real here. They won the division, the first year with Quinn under the helm as coach? And he's not a rookie coach per se, but he's a defensive-minded oriented coach. Did with Noah Igbenogany, mind you. We cut Noah. He went to Washington, bro.
Yes, but did they have 180 million in dead cap?
I mean, they basically started from scratch is my point. Doesn't matter about the cap scenario. You guys are writing in too much into the dead cap scenario. We filled in a roster.
That's how you build your team, brother.
I get that. That's when you build up against all like stars that come here with that money we do have. If we do have money, you get a Tyreek. If we do have money, you end up getting good talent. We all know that. But Washington did it, and then what talent did they have? Bobby Wagner? Who else? Scary Terry, who wasn't even scary? They had? Zach Ertz. They had Zach Ertz, bro. Zach Ertz is older than anybody on this team, probably, bro.
Zach Ertz I would take Zach Ertz on this team in a heartbeat.
But you get what I'm saying, though. They did it with guys that are past their prime, and they did it with rookies coming in as quarterback.
Again, it doesn't make a difference.
It made a difference for them.
The amount of minimum contract guys you got. Thanks for the jewels. Again, I don't know what the jewels mean, but I appreciate you.
If you build up enough jewels, they turn into real money.
Oh, does it? I don't even know whether to see how many jewels I got. But anyway, yeah. Again, Cap, I'm high on this team. I really am, and it might not seem like it because I have to constantly defend my take against people. But I like the direction we're going. I like the young guys.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I just think they need time to progress, and I do think we got holes in certain positions that we need to fill. And I think,
bro,
the reason we're gonna.
Let me tell you something, bro. The fact that we're opening up, and this is a good sign. Don't get this as a shot to anybody, bro. I'm embracing what I'm hearing. The fact that we're opening up to the front office and accepting Hafley and accepting everything that Sully's trying to do, that's the first start to having a turned roster into, an organization we can trust. We didn't trust the last regime. But it's nice to hear everybody is basically almost on the same page as far as saying, okay, the front office is trying at least, and they're doing what we pretty much are thinking of doing as far as moves. Like, as far as moves, I think we all been on the same page, and they've been filling up those gaps. Like right now, the only thing that I have question marks on probably is safety, edge, and kicker. As minute as that sounds, but right now, like, we're stuck to one guy because the other guy's out. Like, are we okay with kicker? Because we lost a couple of games because of a kicker. Let's not get it twisted. We did.
Well, I don't think we lost any games because of Riley Patterson last year. He played pretty well for us, in my opinion. You think I don't think he missed many kicks at all last year. I thought he was pretty good for us, actually. Yeah, I think, like I said, I disagree a little bit with the holes. I think edge, of course. But Chop has looked phenomenal in camp. He might be Camp's best player so far. I mean, I was going to talk about top 5 performers of training camp so far. I think Chop Robinson might be the top performer from this training camp so far. And that's saying a lot. He put Patrick Paul on his ass yesterday. Patrick Paul tried to act like he slipped, but from what I'm hearing, it wasn't a slip. Like, he won that battle. And they were kind of chirping at each other, which that's great. Hold on. They're saying my mic sounds Sorry about that. Is it better? Pete, you can sit there and trash talk. I took you off the show because you just scream over everybody. You call names and just talk crazy. You know what I mean? You just talk absolute craziness. Your takes make no sense. You're delusional in most things you say. You flip flop. You went from saying we're a playoff team to a winless team back to we're a playoff team. I said that this trade was not a difference making trade. You acted like it was a trade. If we're not trying to win, how come we're making trades? This trade does not move the needle. It's not a it's not a great move. It's a move. I'm not mad at the move. I don't hate the move. It's just not a move that is a difference making move. Yeah, go fire up the channel for Frederick so you guys can go over there and talk fake takes. So you can stroke each other's egos. So you can make delusional opinions and you can all be wrong at the end of the season. So, I mean, if you don't like the truth, by all means. But I bet you Frederick won't put dollars on it. I bet you won't make a bet, Frederick, will you? You won't bet Big C, will you? And we'll see who's right and who's wrong. I took Pete's money last year from Pete being wrong. Pete liked to ignore that fact. And Pete refuses the bet with me this year, right? Someone that so confident in what he's saying, but he refuses the bet. Refuses. Absolutely refuses. But anyway, enough of that. My top performers from camp so far, I said, Chop Robinson has absolutely been phenomenal day in and day out. Looks like he could finally maybe have turned that corner. I'm still not going to hold my breath, but I'm excited. I'm excited finally for Chop. Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob Rodriguez is every bit been the player we expected him to be. I'm not going to sit there and say Zach Thomas 2.0, but this kid was the best linebacker in college football last year. He's coming in. He's making plays. I won't be surprised if he takes Dotson's spot. I think we got a real one in Jacob Rodriguez. Aaron Brewer, no surprise there. Aaron Brewer, one of the best centers in the league. He's still performing at a super high level. Jordan Brooks, again, just a playmaker, the heart of this defense. He's been phenomenal to this training camp. And then Malik Willis. Malik Willis continues to get better day in and day out. Continues to make good throws, better decisions. I really wish we had more weapons to surround Malik with because I think, this offense could be a million times better if he just had some receivers he could count on. Caleb Douglas has been good. He just doesn't consistently catch the football, which is sad. Can he turn it around? Can he fix those problems? I hope so. But again, he's dealt with this issue for a long time. This isn't an issue where Jamar Chase went through a small period where he was dropping everything. No, this has been a continued problem for this kid. I hope he can overcome it, but I'm not confident. I think that it's going to be a problem that, affects him throughout his career. I really do. And I think it puts a cap on the level of player he can be. I think he can be a very good player for us, but I think those drops they're going to hold him back. They're going to hold him back from meeting his full potential. But it is what it is. Those are my top camp guys. I do apologize about the going back and forth with Pete. It is what it is. I don't want to be negative about this team. Pretty soon, the games are going to speak for themselves. Again, I hope Pete's right in everything that he says. I really do. I hope that I'm the one that's eating crow. I hope that Frederick's right. Because if they're right, it means the Dolphins are playing good football. It means the Dolphins are winning. But again, I think we're a year away from really competing. I really do. Bonnie says she got some good laughs today from Pete. I just hate when someone calls me. I'm a fake fan, media-driven fan, because I don't agree with what he says. And he acts like he's right about everything, which kills me. I've literally never heard him be right about anything. If he didn't like Tua, okay, cool. Maybe you were right that Tua wasn't the quarterback, the answer at quarterback for us. But you were still wrong because you said Skylar Thompson was, or Jacoby Brissett was, or Tom, Dick, and Harry was. You were still wrong. And more wrong than us that supported Tua. Because I'm still taking Tua over Skylar Thompson. I'm still taking Tua over Jacoby Brissett. I'm still taking Tua over all those quarterbacks. But it is what it is. We got a game coming up against the Washington Commanders, some joint practices. I think these players are getting better consistently. What bothers me and what makes me worried is we're not seeing the offense or the defense really dominate the other. And you might think that's a good thing, and typically it is. Typically in training camp, you want to see your offense and defense go back and forth with each other. But here, we know that our units, one of the units at the very least, isn't very good. At the very least, one of our units that aren't very good. So the fact that they're going back and forth, to me, that means that both units aren't very good. Like if our offense was really good dominating, they'd be dominating our defense day in and day out. Or if our defense was really good, they'd be dominating our offense day in and day out. Frederick, I said 6 wins. So how are me and you that way off base? I'm not killing the team, Frederick. I'm not killing the team. I'm just being realistic with my takes. A lot of good can come from winning 6 games, 5 games. I think we're not supposed to win 5-6. So if we win 5-6 games, I still think we performed above our level. Bad out of hell, you make 0 sense when you talk. Just listen to yourself. Hurst and Douglas had the same number of drops the 2 years in college. I bet you Ted Hurst ends up being a better player than Caleb Douglas. Michael K says 6 wins will be 2 more than they actually win. We'll see. We'll see. That's the beauty of the games being played on Sunday. And if you're a member of the channel, you get to watch them with me. You know what I mean? Again, I don't want to be right. I don't. It sickens me. Even though I know this team is going about things the right way, and I feel like they're building something, it sickens me to think about this team losing on Sundays. And when I have to watch them lose, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be depressed. It's going to anger me. But I can't lie and say something I don't believe. If you want that, if you want lies, you're in the wrong place. If you want delusional takes, you're in the wrong place. You know what I mean? But I do think that Jeff Hafley looks like he's the guy. And if Malik Willis had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Jonnu Smith and You know, I think that this would be a top 5 offense. I really do. And if you put Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard and Christian Wilkins and Javon Howland and Jalen or Bradley Chubb back on this defense, I think this team would be competing for the AFC. If you take Tua out in 2023, well, not 2023, because I don't think that was really on Tua. I think that was more due to injuries. But if you give that roster to Malik Willis, I 100% think this team is a better team. But I'm going to get out of here. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for sticking with me, the people that do stick with me. Glenn, you can't say I was wrong. He's practicing against other mediocre guys. You can't say I was wrong yet. He was a 6th-round prospect, 6th round. Until he goes into NFL games and performs, he's still a 6th-round prospect, man. You can't say I'm wrong about that. How can you say I'm wrong? Thanks, Miss Fins. Make sure you catch me and Miss Fins tonight, 8:30 for DMZ. It's going to be a heck of a show. Check it out. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to watch Dolphin games with me on Sundays. Don't forget to hit the super chat. Again, I'm not like a lot of shows that you got to super chat to interact. I'm not like that. But don't forget the kid. I'm trying to make this channel grow. I'm trying to do big things. For everybody that sent super chats, I appreciate you. It is what it is. Make sure you hit up Michael K. Well, hit my inbox if you want a super box for Michael K. They replace, after the order NFL Sunday ticket, they replace your cable. You can watch all types of movies, news, live TV, and you get Sunday ticket for free. Sunday ticket for free. So hit me up if you want to get a blue box for Michael K. Hit my email. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Glenn, you like it? Glenn, let them know about that super box, boy. But you know what it is. It's fins up forever, ever, 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 and ever. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Yeah. It's Big C. Fin Posse Podcast in the building. If you hating on the Fins, turn this up louder. I grew up on Shula. Chalk lines, cold rain, Marino in the pocket, dropping dimes, pure flame. 7-2 perfect, you can't say a thing back. Undefeated on your head, living rent-free fact. Jason Taylor off the edge, helmets turning skyward. Zach thumping chests, every hit like a siren. You talking about rings. Get your history straight. We the reason that the word perfect holds weight. It's that Fin Posse. Raise, turn the volume up. Hey, slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse. Raise, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get that story right. Yeah, Larry C. Sunk in the mud, blood on his mouthpiece. Ricky in the backfield, making whole crowd screech. Wake off the snap count, quarterbacks daydreaming. By the time they look up, all they see is teals streaming. You forgot about Grease, you forgot about Twilly, you forgot Nat Moore. Going up, getting silly from Marino to Tua lineage, same jersey. We've been airing that thing out since before you that 30. Raise, turn the volume up. Y'all slick on Miami, you get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, rage, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get that story right. This for the diehards, slamming doors on the loss. This for the old heads still quoting Shula talk. This for the kids wearing jerseys in June, waiting all year just to scream in the room. It's that Fin Posse rage, turn the volume up. On Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins. You ain't studied us enough in posse. Rage, put respect on the name. Big C and the crew, let them drown in the shame. It's the Fin Posse Rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. Fin Posse Podcast, get the Dolphin story right. Woo!